Good evening and thank you for joining us on the Cradle TV show. My name is Enobo Kofi. It's my pleasure to welcome you on board to the debut edition of the Cradle TV show on NTA Channel 12 Uyo. We're excited to have you. We promise we're going to make good company between now 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. I urge you to stay as we do the program together. First, I'll take you into what the program is about. The Cradle TV show is a magazine TV program that's going to be coming your way every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We'll focus on exclusive interviews, events, project spotlights, documentaries, advertorials, and lots more. I urge you to join us. I urge you to be a part of this program because it promises to be exciting, it promises to be entertaining, it promises to be educating. Once again, you're welcome on board. Now I'll take you into the menu for today. First, on the 29th of May, Deacon Udom Emmanuel was sworn in for his second term in office as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Well-meaning citizens of Akwa Ibom State did send in their goodwill messages, and we are going to take a few of them. That aside, we're going to be having an exclusive interview with Barrister Mfonben. He's the immediate past transition committee chairman of Uyo local government, and we talked about a whole lot of things. He did give us his opinion on the recent suspension of Dr. Valentine Atta, the chairman local government service commission. We also talked about the speakership tussle in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. I urge you to stay till the end of the program. It promises to be really exciting. Once again, you're welcome to the show. I will step aside and then we take a musical break, and when we return, the goodwill messages will be coming in. Thank you for joining us, and stay. Let's do this together.
He's done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough. Really, when you hear completely. Chukuma robin more. If he can do that, we sing. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. Come on, everybody. What shall I render to Jehovah? Hey! For he has done so very much for me. Nara, 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 eh. Narekele, narekele mo. We sing nara, nara,
Tisong Ibibio 3, His Royal Majesty Ntisang Dr. Isienu Doi Kida, then Pisong Council and all members of Akwa Maisong Ibibio, the formal socio-cultural organization of the Ibibios, felicitate with the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, on the occasion of his swearing-in ceremony for a well-deserved second term in office as Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State on 29 May 2019. Your Excellency, your proactive and tenacious driving spirit in steering the ship of Ajay State to the desired shore of destination has spoken loud for you in the last governorship election in the state that witnessed your landslide victory for a second term in office as executive governor of the state. We in Akwa Maisong Ibibio heartily appreciate all your efforts to reposition Akwa Ibom State as one of the most peaceful states in the Niger Delta and Nigeria at large. We pray God to continue to give you the enablement and the grace to take Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise, to its final destination, the promised land, in your second term. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Long live His Excellency, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. Long live Akwa Maisong Ibibio. Long live Akwa Ibom State. Signed, His Royal Majesty Ntisang Dr. EU Ekidem, JP, Ambassador of Peace, Ntisong Ibibio 3. Wukoini Nibibio, Obom Nibibio. Also signed Mpisang Dr. Harrison Ataide, FNIM JP, Secretary General.
I use this occasion to congratulate His Excellency Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, re-elected and sworn-in governor of Akwa Ibom State. He's a man after God's heart. He has proven himself as one who was ready for leadership of good service to the people, leadership to take Akwa Ibom State from where we were in 2015 to another height in 2019, and we certainly know by 2023 you will surely leave indelible mark. We wish you all the best. The entire AUJ family wish you all the best, and we pray upon God, who has been your helper, to continue to equip you with wisdom and give you the grace to take your completion agenda successfully to the end. Congratulations, His Excellency.
I thank God for making it possible for him to come back for a second time. We had prayed for him, we had worked for him, and I pray God to continue to protect him, to guide him, and to guide him in the new assignments, so that he can take developments, move to the doorsteps of Akwa Ibom people. The other day I walked through a Tinan road and I was part of the previous administration, and what I had seen from my calculation, I was essayed to the former governor. What I had seen from my calculation is that what His Excellency the Governor Emmanuel had done in these 4 years in the areas of provision of solid road infrastructure in Akwa Ibom State, it had surpassed what the previous administration did in 8 years. I was essayed to the former governor on project monitoring. I know what I'm talking about. So when you take Ikoro Kuikono road to Etinan, from Etinan to is it Ndoneyo or something? From there to Una, and from Una linking up the east-west road, and also from Etinan taking to Eket, where you link up to the remodeling something in Eket, and all that. In terms of provision of solid infrastructure, there is no government since the creation of Akwa Ibom State, and I'm very proud of the man. I pray God should continue to give him the vision to take development to the doorsteps of Akwa Ibom people.
I am Engineer Ubong Atta, the MD of 12th Engineering Limited, a director in NID Farms Limited, the MD of Ibom Palm Estates and Industries Limited, and also the president of Akwa Ibom Youth Rights Development Multipurpose Cooperative Society. I am here to congratulate our able two-term governor, Governor Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, on his successful swearing in as the second-term governor of Akwa Ibom State. We know that our governor in his first term has industrialized Akwa Ibom State to a great extent, and we are here to support his industrialization strides in Akwa Ibom State and the diversification of the economy of Akwa Ibom State to agriculture by contributing our 10,000 farmers with BVN and voters card, and by contributing to the 9,000 hectare land we are acquiring from the state government that will employ 12,000 youths in Akwa Ibom State for oil palm cultivation. So we wish our governor a successful second term in office. Congratulations, sir.
We will give God all the glory. Be more successful than he had been. He had been a very resounding success the first team, and we look forward. Since he's a man of God, the Bible says the path of the just is like a shining light that shines more and more. So we are looking for a more resounding success than what he has recorded in the first term, and I think that is a reasonable expectation for people who apply for this.
The entire members and executive council of Udom AGS Initiative Group heartily celebrates with our exceptional and gifted leader, His Excellency Mr. Udom Emmanuel, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, on the occasion of his second-term victory at the polls and swearing-in ceremony. Your Excellency, today God has answered our prayers in Akwa Ibom State. It was our prayer that justice should prevail as we shouted 8 years following you around throughout the campaign period. We saw the sincerity of purpose in you, integrity, transparency, accountability, prudent fiscal management, and God affirmed that you should continue in your good works till 2023. As we join Akwa Ibom people in the historic celebration, we assure you of our abiding loyalty to your administration. We pray God to preserve you and increase your capacity in the second term to sustain your superior performance and carry us along. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Long live Udom 8 Years Group Initiative. Long live Akwa Ibom State. Long live Nigeria. Comrade Asuko Asuko, President. Comrade Philip Joseph Etam, Secretary General.
Welcome back. Emmanuel Ofon is my name. I'm going to take you on an exclusive interview with Barrister Fonben, the immediate past transition committee chairman, Uyo Local Government Council, a legal luminary, a community mobilizer of no mean repute, a politician with a difference. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. All right, sir. You're welcome back from the electionary campaign. You've been throughout the campaign. You've been working tirelessly. You've been working around the clock through the umbrella of Mandate Preservation Group and the People's Democratic Party to ensure that His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel emerge. So what motivates you to go extra miles?
I think I would need to put the impression very clear.
Okay.
Akwa Ibom State is a very peaceful state.
Okay.
And the economic developmental stride of His Excellency in the last 4 years before the election are such indices that will propel any reasonable person to give him the ultimate support to continue in his transformational agenda. If you look at the philosophy behind His Excellency, the Dakada philosophy, it caught up with people to arise, to do things that seemingly was impossible before now. So the philosophy of his government was to make people to arise, to come up. And that was a great motivation because the philosophy was backed up with its own essential ingredient of economic development also. So when you go into his philosophy and his own governance implementation plan, you find that there was enough motivation to say, yes, this person has enough to offer the people. And anything that was going to dislocate that agenda, to dislocate that basis of rational governance was what we're fighting against. So the support for His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel by everybody was sustaining the basic survival instinct against oppression that we have seen before. And so that people were ready to stake whatever they had to ensure we don't go back to the dark ages, to ensure we don't go back to the days of fear, we don't go back to the days of instability. We don't represent stability for the people. That's why we have to stake so much.
Okay. Are you saying kidnapping and all those antisocial vices like cultism is over in the days of Governor Udom Emmanuel? But recently we've had a report of the kidnappers who kidnapped an expatriate was relieved from a kidnapper then. So are you saying it's totally eradicated?
Let's start from
security challenges. And
let's start from this point of view. Human governance would never eliminate every form of social vice. But you measure what is called the proportion of relationship between action and implementation. The proportion of crime, the indices of those antisocial vices, and the legislative mechanism that is used to contain them becomes the indices to measure the interest, the value system of the person in charge. You have just mentioned one incident of kidnapping in a period of 4 years. And the one incident of kidnapping that you mentioned was immediately contained and the victim rescued. That means there's an action plan to ensure that crime does not succeed in this administration. Yes, the crime still exists, but the desire of governments, the interest of governments, the mechanism of government is in place to check this crime. You just mentioned cultism. We've always had cultism. But it's the first time a law is specifically made to contain cultism. It means there's a deep interest in checking social dislocation and social vices.
Okay, back to your group, the Mandate Preservation Group, MPG. We know the group have a lot of membership, millions to mention good. And moreover, across during the electionary campaign, at least we witnessed some of your outings whereby you talk to the people that the Emmanuel administration will surely reach out to people when he certainly emerged as a governor of Akwa Ibom State. Today, the answer is yes. So tell us, how will you be able to carry along all these millions of people along in His Excellency Governor Emmanuel's administration? How will they be carried along?
The first thing about governance is about measuring the need of the people and also determining the expectation of the people. In the first 4 years of Governor administration, he has been able to stabilize the states. In the course of that stability, he has been able to spread projects to different areas of the states. And he has been able to give appointment across every structure of the states. And so there's no part of the state that totally feels left out. In the present administrations, all the geopolitical zone between the states, all the ethnic nationalities, even smaller ethnic nationalities are all within the framework of governance. So first of all, the human element in the states are brought back in a unitary government, in a government that recognizes the identity of people. It's not a government of one tribe against the other. It's a government he has formed to reach out to everybody. So the human element in governance is being contained. The infrastructure element of governance is also being spread. Where you put the human beings and the infrastructure at par for everybody to measure and see and be involved. The involvement of people in government is its testimony and reflection of what that government is. You have from Ini, for example, you can say today the project in Ini. I don't know which administration has brought that much project to Ini before today. And the project that goes to Ini does not move from Ini to anywhere. Those projects are seen in Ini. The road to Aluchuku, the rice mill and other things, these are projects cited in Ini. And that means the person in Ini can see government directly with his own purview. He can see government, he can access government. Because every project that government brings to the community is an access to government. And so that way, you look across every community, at least as much as possible, people have been touched, infrastructure has been placed. Let's look at the health sector. Within the last 4 years, by God's grace, we have seen a total build-up in the secondary health sector. Before this administration, we only had the primary health and the tertiary health care. Every other secondary facility was dead. And you couldn't pass into that place. You couldn't even take your specialist there. Itumban was there. Count them in General Hospital. Count all the health facility in the state. They were all down. They were all moribund. And so that means everything had to do with teaching hospital. This thing has to do with teaching hospital. Every treatment was teaching hospital. So the primary health care was just there for the maternity and those areas. Every other thing was teaching hospital. You cannot imagine the pressure in teaching hospital to the point that people were lying on the floor. But today, by God's grace, in that medical health sector, the secondary health sector has been revamped. Today, General Hospital can meet with any emergency of any kind. Itumban is there. You go to General Hospital. You go to General Hospital. These are prime physical structures with equipment that can save life at the nearest moment without putting pressure at the tertiary hospital. And so that means the secondary hospital, the secondary health facility that have been engaged today has reduced pressure also on the private health sector. Now allow the private health sector to function at its own level. That is part of the magic of this administration, identifying problem and finding solution to these problems.
As a stakeholder in the People's Democratic Party, recently we've seen that the suspension of Valata generated a lot of issues. So what do you have to say about this?
I don't like making opinions about things I don't know. Okay. I know very well that government said suspension for some time. As a lawyer, I know suspension is an interim period to allow government comes out with a full-scale investigation and a report of whatever happened. If at the end of the investigation he has done nothing wrong, God knows that will clear his name, clear his personality. If there was something government has to investigate to find out, that will also put pay to questions and answers. But for me, for now, I think we should allow government overhaul itself, work out itself, and come up with a report. I believe in looking at the report than talking before the report. You cannot put the cats, you cannot put the cat before the horse themselves. So the horse must drive the cat. So we must look at the process coming up. Only that you must say that, oh, between an Uyo person, say, well, is sympathetic. Okay. But you cannot go beyond that aspect of it until the main report comes out to say, this is what happened, this is what did not happen. But as an Uyo person, yes, Valata is a political leader, Valata is a respected son of Uyo, and I believe very well, whatever is being done would be in line with the law and in line with due process, so that nobody feels undermined in any way. But I believe government also has some basic tools of reforms within itself. As when government at a point just says certain things have happened, we must wait to see the report of what has happened also. So it's a two-way flow. We must respect government, we must also ask government to follow due process in doing things. And I believe Governor Emmanuel is one person that is not vindictive. And so I don't believe Udo Emmanuel can go to any length to find fault in people. No. He's not that kind of person. We've all worked with him, we've all know the kind of person he is. He's a very liberal person. And so when there are issues of government, somebody must be responsible for taking decisions. And so today, as a governor, there's an issue that has to be investigated. I think every responsible government would allow that thing to go through.
Stakeholder in your politics, with your federal constituency producing a speaker of the House of Assembly. So what do you have to say about this?
There's no battle there.
Okay.
When people seem to become antagonistic to facts, okay, you kind of sympathize with the value system. Okay. In the first instance, I want to commend the PDP as a party for streamlining and at the same time putting Uyo Federal Constituency in the front line for producing the speaker. We have done so much for the states, and this federal constituency needs to be considered for that position. I thank the party. Whoever emerges as a speaker for Uyo Federal Constituency will have the support of everybody. There's no need to fight. It is God that promotes, God that directs people. And I know very well, for all those that have been elected into that seat, each of them is ably qualified to represent the people. As whoever emerges is qualified to represent Akwa Ibom State. If by God's grace, an Uyo person that holds the capital of the state becomes the speaker for the very first time, it will be fundamentally a good omen for the state, considering that Uyo has been a prime factor in the governance of this state. A prime factor in terms of, if you look at what Uyo has given for this state, it is much. For all the lands Uyo has given, it is much.
State capital.
As a state capital, we've sacrificed enough. So if an Uyo person emerge, is part of the contribution of giving to you some of the things Uyo has given to the entire state. There's nothing wrong there, but I know Uyo are not desperate. Those trying to blackmail Uyo people should go and find something else to do. God decide. Blackmail will not work in this instance. Every son of Uyo that were elected has capacity to lead the states.
All right. On the last note, while still basking in the euphoria of His Excellency Governor Emmanuel swearing in and President Muhammadu Buhari swearing in, so and the lawmakers, we at this moment would like to take your goodwill message to them.
First of all, I respect the President of Nigeria and wish Nigeria very well with President Muhammadu Buhari. He has been a president before and has come back today again as a president. So his inauguration is in line with the Constitution. For our own, especially Governor David Emmanuel, we say a big happy returns, goodwill, and God blessings to ensure you continue to give the dividends of democratic value to your people in Akwa Ibom State. We wish his governor and his entire team best wishes in the inauguration programs. And I know Akwa Ibom State will stand to gain from his second term administration.
All right, it's a pleasure having you. We'll look towards to see you some other time, any other moments. Thank you for your audience. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. We believe you've had an impactful moment with us at this moment. We look up to see you again. Thank you. Bye.